Ladies and gentlemen, forget affection, forget devotion, because this wedding transformed into a full-scale food brawl with police sirens blaring in the background. Just when we assumed Remy Ma had hit her lowest point, she seized the wedding cake and hurled it like a shot put straight at the altar. Yes, you read that correctly. A $5,000 custom fondant cake, flying through the air, splattering everywhere. And all of this unfolded before 200 guests and a live stream that was still broadcasting. So, what drove Remy Ma to snap? Was it the vows, the kiss? Or perhaps the sight of Claressa Shields in a white dress, marrying her man, Papoose, while Remy lingered in the shadows like a forgotten guest? One moment, she was quietly seated in the back row. The next, she was shouting, "That should have been me," before flinging a tier of red velvet cake like it was an Olympic sport. Security was too slow, the guests were paralyzed, and before anyone could intervene, Remy was already in handcuffs, frosting on her fingers, heels discarded, and screaming about betrayal. So what exactly went down in those intense 45 seconds? Stick around. The footage is insane, and the aftermath is even crazier. Let's paint the picture. And no, this isn't some episode of Scandal or a sneak peek from a love and hip-hop reunion. This is real, well, fake real drama, messier than a 3-tiered cake crashing to the floor. The venue? Absolute luxury. Picture chandeliers, crystal flutes, live harpists flown in from France, and a guest list packed with hip-hop legends and top-tier athletes. Claressa Shields and Papoose spared no expense for this wedding. No budget limits, no teasers. This was a $1 million event wrapped in white silk, and just as the couple was about to exchange their vows, utter chaos. The camera shifts to the back, and who do we see? You guessed it. Remy Ma, standing in the last row, completely still, not blinking, not breathing, just staring. No one has any idea how she got in. Some say she bribed the decorator. Others suggest she passed herself off as a +1 for a distant cousin. One security guard is certain he spotted her sneaking in during the rehearsal, pretending to be part of the flower arrangement crew. However she pulled it off, one thing's for sure. She made sure all eyes were on her. According to a waiter, who narrowly escaped with his tray in one piece, Remy was dressed to impress. Dangerously so. A sleek black jumpsuit, hair pinned high, and heels so sharp they could have been used as weapons. She wasn't there to reconcile. She was there to steal the spotlight, and it didn't take long. Witnesses say she bided her time until Claressa and Papoose were halfway through their vows before making her move. But let's face it, she didn't just interrupt. She set off an explosion. "This is a joke, right?" she yelled, her voice ringing through the marble halls. Gasps, loud, shocked gasps, filled the room. One guest even clutched her pearls. Literally. Claressa tried to maintain composure. She turned slightly, blinked once, and is said to have calmly replied, "You don't want to do this." But Remy had already set her sights on the cake, a towering 6-foot, 3-tiered masterpiece, with hand-painted red velvet and vanilla swirl, all coated in edible gold-flaked fondant. It cost more than a down payment on an apartment in Manhattan. With a sudden, intense movement, Remy charged at the cake table. "No one marries my man and gets away with it," she yelled, grabbing the top tier with both hands and hurling it. Like a scene from The Purge, Wedding Edition. Guests ducked. A scream pierced the air. One bridesmaid fainted. The camera crew stood frozen. The cake flew in a slow-motion arc of frosting and fury, crashing onto the altar, knocking over 2 candles, a champagne bottle, and part of Claressa's bouquet. Papoose's jaw dropped. He stood motionless, like reality had been paused. Claressa, however, didn't even blink. She grabbed a napkin, calmly wiped frosting off her shoulder, and then shot Remy a glare that, according to witnesses, could slice through steel. Meanwhile, Remy was just getting started. She wasn't tossing out random jabs. She was going for the heart. You think he forgot? You think all that loyalty he spoke of was for you? I stood by him when he had nothing. Nothing. And now he gives you the dream I was promised? That's when everything truly went off the rails. Remy reportedly lunged for the microphone at the DJ booth, but in the chaos, she stumbled over her own heel. She went down hard, crashing straight into the dessert table, smashing 3 crystal platters and dragging a pile of chocolate mousse across the floor like a battle mark. Security finally sprang into action. 2 guards from the left, another from the right. But even after the fall, Remy was still shouting, "She's not right for him. He's mine. Always has been mine. This is all a setup." Guests were already live streaming, their phones lighting up the venue like flashes from paparazzi cameras. Twitter blowing up. The hashtag #AraItShas Remy ruins the reception started trending in less than 5 minutes. And just when it seemed like things couldn't possibly get worse, Remy tried to climb onto the altar. One bridesmaid tackled her mid-climb. Another, thinking quickly, splashed water on her heels to stop her from getting back up. By the time the police showed up, the scene was pure chaos. Floral centerpieces destroyed, glass shattered everywhere, one fake eyelash hanging on by a thread, and Remy's face drenched in frosting. The officers calmly asked her to stand. She refused. "I'm not moving," she said, "until he looks me in the eyes and tells me he doesn't love me." Silence. Then finally, Papoose, still at the altar, frozen and covered in frosting, spoke. "Remy, go home." That was all. The officers moved in and she was escorted out, barefoot, yelling the whole way, "He's lying! He's lying! This is all fake!" Outside, the paparazzi were already in position. Photos of Remy, barefoot, in handcuffs, makeup smeared, fury, radiating from every inch of her, spread across the internet before she even reached the squad car. But here's the twist. As soon as she was out of view, Claressa turned to the shocked crowd, smoothed her dress, and said calmly, "Let's start over from the top." And just like that, the ceremony was reset. Same vows, same kiss, just with a bit more frosting in the air. Most people thought that was the end of the drama. But what the internet uncovered after the event is what truly sent this story into viral overdrive. Apparently that cake toss? It wasn't a spur of the moment outburst. It was all planned. Turns out it wasn't just fury. It was a strategy. A calculated, chaotic, frosting-filled strike. Within 24 hours, anonymous sources started revealing evidence. First came a blurry screenshot of a group chat, reportedly titled, "The Plan." In it, a message from someone listed as R-Red read, "Got the timing right? I'm going in at 4:17. Get the second angle from behind the flowers." Let that sink in. This wasn't just a meltdown. It was a carefully planned attack. And if that wasn't enough to send the internet into a frenzy, another leaked message appeared. "When I throw the cake, make sure y'all capture his face." Yes, she wanted the cake, and Papoose's reaction, filmed in stunning 4K. TikTok detectives jumped into action right away. They slowed the footage, synchronized, timestamps, added dramatic music, and treated it like the Zapruder film of hip-hop weddings. But things got even messier. Another account shared what looked like a calendar screenshot from Remy's phone. The event? Wedding interruption. The time? 4:15 p.m. The description? "He needs to see me." Was it authentic? Was it tampered with? No one could say for sure, but it felt real. And on the internet, that's all that matters. Twitter threads turned into full-scale investigations. Reddit subforums ignited. One post with over 13,000 upvotes was bluntly titled, "How Remy Ma Orchestrated the Most Embarrassing Scene of 2025. Then came the leaked voicemail. Yes, a voicemail, supposedly sent by Remy to a mutual friend 2 days before the wedding. In it, a woman's voice, strangely familiar, says, "I don't care if it's messy, I don't care if it's tacky. If I need to remind him in front of everyone, I will." Cue emotional piano music. Cue the memes. Cue the think pieces. Because by now, it wasn't just a ruined wedding, it had become a cultural phenomenon. The public reaction? Chaotic. Split. Overwhelming. Team Remy insisted she was a woman wronged, reacting out of deep emotional pain. They argued she had given Papoose everything, her youth, her faithfulness, her unwavering support, and seeing him begin a new chapter without her? Unthinkable. One fan tweeted, "She stood by him through prison, poverty, and every challenge, and this is how she's repaid?" The cake toss was actually the more restrained choice. Team Claressa didn't hold back, calling Remy a boundary crossing, wedding crasher with a martyr complex. Claressa's sister even went live saying she wasn't invited. She came like a storm in a wig. Then Cardi B jumped in. Y'all had cake flying and exes yelling while I was home with a face mask. Her tweet hit 1.2 M likes fast. 50 Cent followed with a meme of Remy mid-cake toss. She really delivered dessert. Chaos escalated. Remy unfollowed everyone but Papoose and burner account KKKKKK. Queen stirred the pot. Endorsements dropped. Rumors of a fake pregnancy swirled. Claressa stayed quiet until she filed for justice. By Monday morning, Claressa Shields wasn't posing for wedding photos. She was in court. Less than 48 hours after Remy Ma's frosting chaos, Claressa filed a civil suit, charging Remy with intentional disruption, emotional distress, and property damage. She listed damages like a $5,300 custom cake, $1,800 for floral reassembly, and $2,100 in security overtime. The lawsuit even included a claim of emotional sabotage, alleging PTSD, symptoms like frosting flashbacks and aisle anxiety. Remy's team released a statement calling it a temporary emotional lapse, which only fueled the fire. Claressa's response? A video with the caption, "You threw cake, I'm throwing consequences." Claressa's video hit 1.4 million views within hours, sparking rumors of a quiet, drama-free wedding with Papoose. Fans were split, but the industry wasn't. Remy's brand was collapsing. A fashion campaign dropped her, and Netflix pulled her docuseries segment. Once celebrated, she was now dubbed the wedding ruiner. Legal issues followed, with parole violation rumors swirling. A leaked email exposed a planned redemption arc, but damage was done. Then came Claressa's counter, a documentary, The Vow and the Vendetta, featuring raw footage, guest interviews, and Papoose. A parody bakery launched bittersweet betrayal cake. Behind the memes, one truth lingered. Remy lost everything.